They say the moon does not speak to everyone, only the hearts that are patient enough to listen. This is the story of AC, the girl who spoke to the moon, and how her voice saved her people from hunger, thirst, and despair. Long ago, deep in the green valleys of the river Densu, there stood a peaceful village surrounded by tall palm trees and red earth. The people were kind, hardworking, and proud of their farmlands. Among them lived a young girl named Essie, the only child of an old fisherman called Kweku Mensah. Essie was not like other children. Whilst others played by the river or chased goats through the fields, Essie spent her night sitting outside her hut, gazing up at the shining moon. She would sit quietly, whispering as if she was speaking to someone no one else could see. One night, her father came out and shouted, "Essie, why do you sit there every night talking to yourself? The moon will not answer you. Come inside and sleep." But Essie smiled softly. "Father, the moon listens to me when the world is asleep." Her father shook his head and went inside, muttering, "Strange girl, always dreaming." Little did he know his daughter's dream would one day save the whole village. Months later, the rain stopped falling. The sky turned dry and red. The once mighty river Densu shrank into a line of cracked mud. The yam farms turned to dust. The people grew weak with anger and thirst. Even the elders began to lose hope. The chief of the land, Nana Osei, called his council and said, "Our gods are silent. If anyone can bring us water, half of my kingdom will be theirs." The priests tried sacrifices, but the rain marked stands for 7 nights, but the sky stayed empty. One night, when everyone had given up, AC sat outside once more. The moon was full and golden, brighter than it had ever been. Then, for the first time, she heard a soft voice, not in her ear, but in her heart. "Essie, daughter of patience, go to the forest of stones. Dig where the fireflies dance, and the earth will give you people what they need." Essie stood in awe, her eyes wide and heart racing. The moon had finally spoken back. She ran to her father. "Father, the moon spoke to me. It told me where the water is." But Kweku Mensah frowned. "Essie, don't say such things. People will laugh. The moon does not talk." Still, Essie wouldn't give up. "Even if they laugh, I must go. I believe what I heard." Before dawn, Essie tied a small cloth bundle around her waist. Inside it were only a calabash of water and a little fufu. She walked alone towards the darkest forest, guided only by the fading moonlight. When she entered the forest of stones, it was quiet, almost too quiet. Crickets hid, and even the trees seemed to watch her. Essie whispered, "Moon above me, show me the place of the fireflies." Then, as if answering her prayer, hundreds of fireflies began to appear, growing softly, swirling like stars around one spot on the ground. Essie dropped to her knees and began to dig with her bare hands. At first, there was nothing. Then a cool drop touched her palm, another and another. Suddenly, water burst the ground, clear and shining like silver. Esty laughed and cried at once. The moonlight touched her face as if smiling down. She filled her calabash and ran home. When she poured the water into a dry pot, it overflowed. The more they poured, the more it increased. Soon, the whole village came to see. They followed her to the forest, and just as she said, the ground was full of sweet and cold water. The people danced. The chief himself came and knelt beside Esty. "My child, you have done what even our praise could not do. Tell me, what do you desire? Gold? Land? A husband from the royal family?" Esty shook her head. "No, no, my king. I only ask that no one ever laugh at a dreamer again. Because dreams are whispered from the spirit, and sometimes the moon speaks only to those who listen." From that day on, the people of Densu celebrated the festival of the listening moon every year. On the brightest night, they would gather by the river, light candles, and tell the story of Esty, the girl who spoke the moon and brought life back to their people. Fathers taught their daughters never to be ashamed of their dreams. Mothers told their sons that wisdom hides in the quiet storm. Esty grew into a wise woman, loved by all, and when she grew old, she would still sit outside her hut, smiling up at the moon, and sometimes, if you listen closely on a clear night, you might still hear her voice whispering, "The moon listens when you believe." Moral lesson: patience and faith can reveal miracles that others cannot see. 2. Never mock a dreamer. Destiny often hides in silence. 3. The moon speaks to those who listen, and the earth answers to those who believe.